Mountain News first at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. Governor Beshear is holding a news conference on COVID-19. If you want to watch that, you can find it on our second channel, Heroes and Icons, or on the WYMT Facebook page. But first at 4, it was a beautiful start to the work week, but unfortunately it could be the calm before the storm as we are expecting several rounds of heavy rain. A flood watch has already been issued, and we could be in severe weather alert day mode for much of the week. Meteorologist Evan Hatter helps us plan ahead with the latest forecast. Evan?
That's right, Steve. Already seeing the very first indications of that first system heading our way as we head late tonight and into tomorrow. And you're saying, what are you talking about? It's in the 50s and 60s and sunny. Well, look outside. We've got clouds moving into the region. That's because we're getting a little bit more moisture on the way. High knob camera UVA-wise, one of our cooler spots, as they usually are, sitting in the middle 50s right now. But high clouds beginning to work into the region. Same thing as you look from our camera at Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County. We've still got plenty of moisture beginning to work in ahead of our front. We've got the warmth. Many of our locations not far from 70 right now. A little bit cooler as you head into the Cumberland Valley, where they are starting to see some of that cloud cover beginning to work in. You see that on satellite and radar. The thicker cloud cover has been working into places like Campbell and Claiborne County in East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, Bell, Harlan, Letcher counties in Kentucky, and all along the Tennessee border. We're all going to see that increase because the rain is not far away now up into Middle Tennessee. We're going to be watching that as we head through tonight as our rain chance does increase. So if you don't have it already, go ahead, download that WYMT weather app. That QR code in the upper right-hand part of the screen will take you right there to download it, and you can see our forecast as we head through tonight. Cloudy skies continue. We increase the shower chances as we head into the overnight, and they'll be with us for much of the next 24 to 48 hours. I'll have the very latest on how much rain we could see and when it really begins to move in coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. With the amount of rain the region is expecting to get throughout this week, law enforcement and emergency personnel are urging everyone to be prepared for anything. If you live in a flood-prone area, officials recommend having an emergency kit on hand in your home and in your car. These kits can include any first aid items, dry clothing, blankets, water, flashlights, and batteries. Perry County Emergency Management Director Jerry Stacy says folks should also keep up with the latest forecast.
Really, the biggest thing that I can say is just stay up to date on what's going on. You know, keep a radio with you in case you lose power, so you kind of can stay up to date on the weather report as we move forward. You know, through tonight and tomorrow.
Stacy adds that being prepared is the best course of action when dealing with the risk of flooding. Officials gathered today for a ribbon cutting announcing a 49-mile fiber broadband expansion in Knox County. WYMT's Chas Jenkins has more on what this means for that area.
A broadband expansion was announced by state and local leaders at the Knox County Courthouse Monday. In partnership with Kinetic by Windstream, approximately 5,000 local homes and businesses will be getting better internet. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held for those involved to announce construction on the 49-mile project had been completed. Senate President Robert Stivers says this type of service is a necessity for everyone in the state.
One, the ability to communicate and stay linked socially and through news, and then it fills a broad hole for educational opportunities as well. Then last but not least, we've seen so many jobs created.
Stivers says they hope to see more expansions happening in the coming months. In Knox County, Chas Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Local officials say this is just the first step as they want to see everyone in the county have easy access to a reliable connection. A big update today in the world of horse racing as Kentucky Derby winner Medina Spirit is disqualified months after his death, and trainer Bob Baffert faces suspensions and fines. The decision comes after the horse failed a drug test not long after the race last May, testing positive for betamethasone, an anti-inflammatory that is prohibited in Kentucky on race day. Baffert says Medina Spirit was given the drug as an ointment for a skin rash on the recommendation of his veterinarian. which his attorneys say does not fall under the same ruling. Without directly addressing Medina Spirit or Baffert, Churchill Downs issued a statement on the matter congratulating the team now poised to be named winner of the 2021 Derby. That honor would go to Mandaloun and trainer Brad Cox if this ruling is upheld, giving Cox his first win. Baffert's legal team says they plan to appeal the decision as soon as possible. The search continues for a suspected robbery suspect in southern Kentucky. State police in Rockcastle County are looking for Woodrow Lamb. They say earlier this year, Lamb broke into a home and shot someone. Police say Lamb is dangerous and has possibly committed other crimes since that home invasion. Police have arrested his girlfriend, Lindsay Ballou. She's in the Rockcastle County Jail now. We're told the shooting victim is doing a lot better. An arrest at one airport is raising some eyebrows after Florida woman Chelsea Alston was barred from boarding a flight due to allegedly being intoxicated. Newly released body cam footage shows her allegedly leaving the scene on a motorized suitcase. The officer says Alston spit at him, the confrontation ultimately resulting in her arrest. Her attorney declined to comment. She's pleaded not guilty to all charges. Americans are among the first travelers to touch down in Australia today as the country opens its borders to international visitors for the first time in almost 2 years. CBS's Tina Kraus shares some of their stories, including the journey of one woman from right here in Kentucky.
Australia is welcoming travelers back with the kind of reception you'd expect down under. But all Cindy Moss from Kentucky needs is a hug from her daughter.
I just haven't seen her in so long, and it was such a big thing to be able to get over here. So we're so excited.
Lauren Potter from Phoenix is flying in for a family wedding and straight into the arms of her dad.
Love you, Dad.
It's very emotional. So I haven't seen my dad in 4 years, so it was great to hug him.
For the first time since March of 2020, Australia has opened its borders to fully vaccinated tourists. The country had imposed some of the toughest COVID-19 restrictions in the world to keep the virus out. Sue Whitten from the UK has been counting the days since she's seen her son.
724 apart, and he's my only son, and I'm alone, so this means the world to me.
It means a lot to the economy, too. Before the pandemic, tourists brought in about $32 billion a year.
Everyone's celebrating. It's so great to have the international tourists back from right around the world.
Australian officials expect it will take another 2 years for travel and tourism numbers to fully bounce back. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Australia's reopening comes as countries in Asia also lift restrictions, even as the Omicron wave keeps spreading. 95-year-old Queen Elizabeth is back at work after learning she tested positive for COVID. Royal officials revealed the diagnosis yesterday, the same day Britain's Prime Minister said, quote, "We need to learn to live with this virus," and signaled the end of most COVID restrictions. While it's unclear how the Queen caught it, she's believed to be triple vaccinated and has a top team of doctors looking after her if things get worse.
It's quite reassuring that we're hearing that she has just mild cold-like symptoms, but it is still too early to say. Many people do progress to more serious symptoms after a week or so into illness.
The diagnosis comes after months of other speculation about the Queen's health. Last October, she spent a night at a hospital in London for an undisclosed condition. The Queen was apparently just one of a larger outbreak of COVID cases among her staff. Carnival Cruises will be relaxing its mask rules next month. Beginning March 1st, masks will be recommended but not required. But the company says there may be certain venues and events where you will have to wear a mask. Masks on board cruise ships remain an ongoing topic since first discussed at the onset of the pandemic. The Carnival Corporation owns several major cruise lines. The company says about 13 million passengers sail on board a Carnival-owned ship in a typical year. The Biden White House again places a pause on new leases and permits for federal oil and gas drilling. This move comes after a district judge in Louisiana issued an injunction preventing the administration from using the social cost of carbon in decisions based on oil and gas drilling on public land. In the appeal filed this past weekend, the Biden administration says the injunction halted all projects. The metric, which puts a dollar sign on each ton of carbon dioxide emitted, is used. Still to come on First at 4 as the 2022 Winter Olympics wrap up in Beijing. We take a look at which countries came out on top.
And we've got rainfall on the way, and plenty of it this work week. I'll have the latest from Future View on the way.
With the eyes of the world